Hey y'all, oh, what's happening? What's poppin'? It's your girl China Johnson, and we're doing something a little different today. We are going to do a chit chat while I finish my Lego flower bouquet. That was a gift from a really good friend of mine. I'll show you the box before we get started. So it's the Legos Botanical Collection Bouquet of Roses. So she's gonna look like this after. She looks like this. Right now, I got four more to do. And each one comes with like a little guidebook because the girls need to know what's going on. So we are gonna go ahead and get started. I skipped a little bit because I had did the other bouquet, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. So pretty much like I said, this is really just gonna be a vent session, a chit chat, like whatever you want to call it. That's what it's gonna be. I know normally people don't recommend you do this like when you're first growing your channel, but we're family here, and so I want to just be myself with you all and just run that mouth. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on the white flowers that you all saw. That's what we're gonna work on right now as I just kind of tell you all a little bit about where I am right now in life, where I hope to go, and things like that. So this morning, I actually started working on. I'm gonna organize this some more. So I'm one of those people that have to organize each section before I start doing my Legos. So I wrote a newsletter, my April newsletter, which will be coming out on April 7th. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe for the Glow House. With the newsletter is called. Excuse the dog. The Glow House is what the newsletter is called. But the where you sign up is gonna be called For the Girls, and you'll get a free glow up confidence guide. So yeah, with all that being said, I was writing about the confidence to dream. So it's one thing to be confident when it comes to like how you look, how you dress, like all of those things. But then it's also another thing to be confident in your dreams and being like, no, like this is a gift that God has given me. This is an idea that God has given me. Let me actually put in the work to make that gift come to life. And so recently, I have just been thinking about how many times in my life I have settled, specifically in the area of career. So I've only had like one job that I really loved, and that was working at a university, planning all of the programs and events for all of their Black, African, and Caribbean students. So that was my only job. Every job after that was kind of just like, oh, I need to do this because I need to pay my bills. But oh, this kind of sounds cool too. So oh, it's a chance to pay my bills, do something that's cool. Then I'll get into it and be like, no, why did I sign up for this? And I often have come to the hold on, y'all. One, two, three, four. I've often come to the realization with that the issue is I've always known what I wanted to do since I was a child, but just as life has progressed, and yeah, just as life's progressed, as you start meeting more people, as people start teasing you, as people start just doing things to shut down a gift that was very strategically placed by God, you just start to be like, oh, I can't do that. Like nobody around my way does that. Nobody from where I'm from does that. So I shouldn't be interested in it. Even from picking a college major, I had misinterpreted something that God told me. So I picked a major that makes sense, but really don't make sense at the same time. So like I graduated with a bachelor's in child and adolescent studies. So when I was in college, freshman year, I have my cosmetology license in Maryland. I got it when I was in high school. So freshman year, winter break, I was working. I don't know what happened there. I was working at hair cuttery, which is like like a place to do hair and stuff. And while at hair cuttery, literally y'all, that whole winter break, only teachers were sitting in my chair, like teachers back to back to back to back. I'm like, oh, and I wasn't saved then either. I got saved at 23. I was like 18, 19 then. So I'm like, God, like, I feel like you're telling me to be a teacher. I was a communications, public relations major at the time. I was like, oh God, I feel like you're calling me to be a teacher. All these teachers keep sitting in my chair. Whoopsie whoop. So I changed my major like 5 times. So I went from like elementary education to history because I thought I was gonna be an African American studies professor. Just a bunch of just too much. I should have just relaxed and stayed a comms major. I should have really been a broadcast journalism major, but whatever. Long story short, I've always been very clear on what I wanted to do. I have always wanted to be like, I just feel so crazy, like famous, but I've always wanted to have like large impact on people's lives, particularly women. I've always wanted to like just represent just black women in America or just black women period because I used to be obsessed with like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, Lauren Conrad from The Hills. Like when I tell y'all obsessed, I mean like obsessed. Like you couldn't tell me that I was not a rich white woman. But yeah, but then also as I got older, I realized like no, like I just like making impact and I like helping people and I like doing that through like personality, through talent. So I used to be in drama club when I was a kid. So all these things have been very consistent and it just hit me recently. Because I don't like the current job I have, hate it. Piss poor, hate it, hate it. And I hate most of my jobs. So that's again a personal thing that I need to hurry up and figure out. But yeah, so with that being said, I took that accent class and literally in that accent class I just kept feeling like, yo, like you haven't been tripping all these years. Like you just haven't had the confidence to bet on yourself. Like I haven't really like, yeah, I've had a podcast. I'll stop that. Through to just like being addicted to instant gratification. Like the podcast isn't growing fast enough. The YouTube isn't growing fast enough. The TikTok isn't growing fast enough. Just never being content and just being consistent and being disciplined. Like I personally cannot say like, yeah, I've been doing TikTok for the past 5 years and I'm not growing, then give up. No, I'd be like, all right, I've consistently been posting on TikTok for the past 2 months. It's not working, give up. So I'm using this year to just give my best on YouTube, give my best on TikTok, and to see where it takes me. Because obviously, I do want to allow my platform to grow and to help other women just become more confident in whatever they feel like they're called to. But then also, like, your girl wants to be on, season 5 of Beauty and Black. So I am signing up for an acting class on, I think the class starts like the 14th or 13th. So it's going to be like a Monday night acting class, intro to acting class I'm signing up for. So at this point, I am just controlling what I can control, I can control being consistent on here. I can control being consistent on TikTok. What I can't control is when people subscribe, how people subscribe, how long it takes people to subscribe. Like I can't, we're working on the robes now, by the way. I can't control those things. So what I decided, I am no longer going to focus on controlling those things. Like, girl, I can't control it. I'm not about to be stressed out anymore. I'm tired of being stressed about this and that, whatever. Like, even when it comes to like career wise, like I am hiring a career coach. I meet with her tonight. Today's April 1st, like when I'm recording. I meet with her tonight at 7, and we're gonna get me in a new job. We're gonna get me in a career that I enjoy. I reached out to some contacts of mine to just help me get a job that I enjoy. Because until God is ready to let me go ahead and blow up and be like a famous actress, businesswoman, whatever He has for me, I need some money. So therefore, I need to change my situation because at the end of the day, you're in control. Oh, obviously God's in control, but after God, you're second in command. So it's like at some point, I can't keep complaining about how every job I get I hate because it's my fault. I'm the one who picks them or accepts the offer. So at this point, I refuse to work another job that I hate. So like once I figure out what I'm gonna do about this one, whether I'm gonna quit, whether I'm gonna stay, whatever I decide after this, I have to make a decision for me. And another thing is also like people often, you ask people for advice. So, like I ask my friends and family for advice about like this situation I'm navigating, and everybody gives their 2 cents. At the end of the day, it's your life and you have to do what's best for you, but also making sure that you're listening to the voice of God. And then also understanding like sometimes God has only shown you what your life is supposed to look like. So some friends, some family members may not necessarily be able to speak life into a thing if they don't really know or understand the thing. So like for me, I've always been like the oddball out, or I've always been the person who just always has really, really big dreams and stuff. And so for me, I'm in the season of just accepting I have big dreams and actually trying to chase. And while I'm chasing those dreams, I am making sure that I'm constantly seeking God. So for example, I want to quit my job like on Friday, I want to quit my job, but I'm still waiting to hear God's like 2 cents on it. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. It takes time. But all that to say, y'all pray for me, okay? But I'm telling you all this just to encourage you. Like, there's something deep in the pits of your heart that God has been telling you since you were a child, or just been telling you since you were in your 20s, telling you since you were in your 30s, whatever age you are, and you just haven't made that like quantum leap. Like, you just haven't just got out the porch. Y'all, the rose is coming along, and I'm just encouraging you to get off the porch because here's the thing. I do not want to be laying in that hospice bed if God chooses to take me out that way. I don't want to be laying in a hospital bed, and then the person who does the end of the life survey is like, "Oh, do you have any regrets?" And my regret is, "I'm so sad that I just worked jobs that I hated and I never chased my dreams." Blah blah blah. I would rather be like, I chased every dream I had. Some worked, some didn't. They all worked. Whatever my testimony will be, but what I know it won't be is that these things be popping off. What I know my testimony won't be is that I just worked a job that I hated, I didn't make no money, and I'm suffering. Like, no, that's not going to be my testimony. That may be somebody else's. Other people, I have realized, excel at suffering. That's not somewhere I excel. And of course, self control, long suffering are fruits of spirit. So it is something that I do want to work on. But do I necessarily want to be? Do I necessarily feel like I want that to be my life forever? No. Like, I want to excel at long suffering, but I also don't want to get comfortable there. So yeah, so don't get comfortable. Like, understand long suffering because we all will go through it, but like, don't get comfortable there because what? That don't even make sense to me. But yeah, so I'm just here to encourage you all. Like, I see a lot of content about like starting over at 30, starting over at 20. I'm 29. And so technically, I can think that the year my 30s, I feel like I'm gonna be starting over. Whether that is a location change, whether that is sitting in it, like getting a career and actually sticking with it. Y'all, these little things just be dropping out my hand. Yeah, whether that's getting a career that I want to stick with or whatever it is, I definitely think my 30s are going to be starting over in a sense, kind of. But then I'm also on the same token of I don't really think we ever really start over. I feel like we refine versus like starting over. Because I feel like starting over is like you don't got nothing. But I also feel like oftentimes you have the knowledge, you have the gifts, you have the talents. Like you already have these things. It's just more so you activating it in a way that like it's supposed to be activated. So yes, I'm not even going to say starting over. I'm more so going to say becoming, just becoming. Literally, y'all, that Michelle Obama book, yeah, autobiography is actually really good. So make sure you all check that out. But yes, I'm not gonna say I'm starting over or anything like that because that's not true. But I will say just refining what I'm supposed to do on the earth, not what so and so said I'm supposed to do or what so and so suggests. Nothing like that. But what God, what am I supposed to do on the earth? Okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? China Lamani Johnson, nobody else. Okay. Um, so yeah, so I am just y'all taking this day by day, but I do feel like the girl may have a relocation coming. I don't even know how to even process that because I'm born and raised in Charles County, lived here, went to undergrad here, which some people find very just surprising. So yes, I've really never lived outside of Maryland. I travel a lot though, which obviously we all know is different than actually than actually living in another state. This part gives me a little run for my money. The actual connecting the rows part is very, oh, child, give me a run for my money, Mr. Lego. There we go. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just also am testing out different content forms. Like in the comments, let me know if you all like these little chit chats, these little like just like girls getting together and talking. And also drop in the comments if you feel like you're starting over. If you, I know some of you have relocated before. Like any tips you have for that. just let your girl know, like, what right now is something that has been just jarring you. Like, I know some of you are on the job search, things like that. Just let me know. Like, I'm very curious. So just hit me up in the comments. Or some of you are just not satisfied with where you are in life, which is cool too. Like, we definitely have to acknowledge those feelings and roll from there. Because here's the thing, I understand everybody has their own philosophies on things they live by. Y'all, I refuse. When I say refuse, I refuse to be miserable. Like, that's just something, like, even just growing up witnessing my grandparents. So my grandfather was an entrepreneur, and my grandmother has been retired since I can remember. So I don't know how long that's been, but I've just always grew up witnessing freedom. Like, they can travel the world, they can, because he owned his own business. And so that's something that I always think about, and why I think it also makes it a little harder for me to tell people like my dreams and goals and stuff, because some people just haven't had access, and a lot of it is access and visualization of like what a life that you want to create looks like. So, like, I had grandparents who traveled the world, who lived their best lives, and who still do at 80 and 74. They are still traveling. Like, we literally are all going to Ghana in November. Like, they ain't stopping no time soon, God willing. So yeah, like, they've just, I've always had a battery in my back. And so I think at 29, I have finally just decided, like, yo, who else is gonna bet on me but me? Like, I'm my biggest fan. I'm my favorite hobby. Like, so I need to make sure that Miss Girl gets what she needs to get. Sorry, y'all, I'm just counting the rest of this rose. So we're gonna finish up with this rose. Are y'all into Legos? What are y'all into to tap into your inner child, as the people like to say? So this Lego. Y'all, she's coming together. And I love roses, by the way. So, like, when I tell you, this is like the perfect gift, and I ain't about to get into that, but perfect gift. Shout out to the person who got the gift. Like, oh, they're so cute. So I got one more, and then she would be 100% completed. And y'all, these Legos have definitely been such a blessing, in the sense of like, when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm stressed out, like, just having something to like put your hands on has definitely been a huge blessing in this season. Definitely. Like, man, if I ain't need no Legos no other time, this has been the best time for them. But as I'm finishing up this one, I would just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. And I hope this blessed somebody. Even if it's just one person, I definitely hope that this video has given you encouragement, that has given you some things to think about. Like, am I really living my best life? Or am I even close to living my best life? Or do I even care about living my best life? Because that's also an assumption that everybody cares about living their best life. Some people are okay with settling. I don't really think no girls that listen to this is okay with settling, but just for the sake of making sure everybody feels included, some people want to settle. I don't think people who watch my channel settle, but if the shoe fits, you gotta wear that thing. So hopefully none of the girls are settling, because why do that? Like, we literally get a certain amount of time on this earth. Why would I waste? Look at this rose. Why would I waste my time on earth settling for a life that I don't want? Like, seriously, like, why am I settling for not being, not me, but just throwing out examples? Why am I settling for not being able to pay my bills? Why am I settling for a job that I hate? Why am I settling for a man that I don't like? Why am I settling for a car that I didn't even want, but somebody forced me to get it, and I could afford the car I actually wanted? Like, there's just so many little like nuanced things about it that people really gotta think about sometimes. So again, I love y'all. XOXO. I'll see y'all next Wednesday, and I'm gonna finish up this rose. And again, look at the bouquet. See y'all later.